Hello! Welcome to another installment of Work in Progress. I'm Erin van Handel from SEWCIAL Sewing Blog, and this weekend, the weekend of February 21-22, is that right? Anyway, this weekend I am going to be making this Simplicity tunic. I've made it once in merino wool, and it's a really simple, really fast, really nice and comfy pattern for cool weather. And this time around I'm going to be making it in French terry. Let me show you what I'm working with. This French terry is 100% cotton. I got it on Amazon. It is a Robert Kaufman brand fabric, and as you can see, it has little rainbow speckles in it. What I plan to do is flat lock the seams, or most of the seams, with this rainbow thread. One thing I really like about this pattern is there are so few pattern pieces. Makes it very fast to sew. We've got, two bodice pieces, a sleeve, there's the sleeve, and then the turtleneck. But as you can see, they are all rumpled from being in the envelope, so I'm going to need to gently press these with a dry iron before I can cut fabric from them. So let's work on that now. My collar, I'm going to do this drawstring cowl that's from a video called Drawstring Cowl Sweatshirt Free Pattern Hack. It's from our friend Melly Sews. She always has really great tutorials on her YouTube channel. Highly recommend. I hadn't thought about it before, but I think I'm going to leave the hems of this sweatshirt tunic raw, because I really like how it rolls. I think it's a nice contrast to the dark gray, the light there, plus you get that really pretty French terry texture that almost looks like honeycomb. Also, that's going to make finishing this up go even faster, which you have to love. I'm at the cutting out phase. Something else I really like about this pattern is that when it comes to cutting it out, it doesn't have any particularly tricky corners or curves. So this is the back piece. Take it, swing it back here. Try not to give you motion sickness. So on the back piece, the hardest part is the back neck, which that's not very tight. And I cut this whole thing out with my rotary cutter. Probably the hardest thing to cut in the whole pattern is maybe this curve. I think this is a little tighter than the other one. I don't know, it's a really easy pattern to cut out, which is another reason it is so fast to sew up and so gratifying to sew up. Got all my pattern pieces cut out. The next thing I'm going to work on is getting a cup of tea, and after I get a cup of tea, I am going to test my flat lock stitch settings on my serger. This is moment of truth time. I've done a 3-thread flat lock. Let's see how this turned out. With the flat lock, you like tug your seam apart to reveal the ladder, which is kind of fun. Ooh, that's tight. this does not quite look like what I thought it was going to look like. This fabric is pretty thick, and I think it's really hard because of bulk on the back here to pull it apart. You can kind of see like how the, I'm really gonna have to play around with the color correction on this. You can kind of see that it's variegated. But I want more. I want more. So hold tight. Let me monkey around with this a little bit more. What's going on is this. I tried a different flat lock seam. I switched to the 2-thread wide flat lock, and it's still not doing what I want it to. With flat lock stitching, let's see if I can angle it here where you can really see, like, you see how it's variegated? Like there's some like kind of orange, yellow, green. So I can pull it along a little bit here. Kind of blue, purple, red, and back again. It like, my idea is to have like the really wide, let's see. So my idea is to have those wide like ladders be the variegated, the rainbow thread, but because the French terry is so thick, it's just not like kind of pulling apart and exposing the ladders in the way I want it to. So it's not as, it's super subtle, and it's too subtle for what I was hoping it would be. Dang. Because with flat lock, what you do is you, like this is the part that, actually like this I believe. So this is the part that this cruises in your machine, the blade cuts this, and then when you're done stitching, you're like, no, I'm gonna, you know, kind of fan my seam out. So you tug this apart. In case you don't know how flat lock works. I mean, if you're not really familiar with a serger, you probably don't. So you pull it apart, and then your little ladders are exposed. And this is all the more it's going to pull apart for me. We will pivot and come up with something else awesome. Here's what I've come up with in lieu of the flat lock stitch. I am going to use a 4-thread overlock stitch with red, yellow, green, and blue. So this, my fingers out of the way. So this seam with the colored thread is going to be on the right side, just like this. This is what the seams are going to look like.